Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mac Paladin's Retro Gaming Emporium, and this is Macross Eternal Love Songs Part 3. At last! Hooray! Oh, my goodness. It has been a while. Hey, Kaiser. Golix is here, and he will be joining me in the voice in just a moment, and we will get rolling with this. Still struggling with paying the bills, so anything anybody can contribute, of course, is greatly appreciated. You'll notice that there are now pre-roll ads and so on and so forth, so it's just, unfortunately, it's a necessary evolution in the history of the channel, so I guess I just kind of got to deal with it, you know? I'm kind of looking forward to this. It's been a while since we've been able to play the game. A couple of weeks since we've had the time to do this, but it's like I had to move forward with this at some point, because I mean, this is the reason that one or two people have subscribed to our channel aside from City of Heroes. So you know, I want to be able to provide the content, but I also had to work very hard the last 2 weeks to try and catch up with job-related stuff, because I've been falling behind, unfortunately. And so I had to make a decision to prioritize my work over my fun work. And like I said, hopefully going forward in the future, we'll be able to rectify that. I've got a lot of plans for the channel. Wednesday, we have our last preview episode of Tales of Innocence R. And if the numbers hold, I'm going to probably start doing that on Tuesday and actually start a segment called Tales Tuesday. And we will continue with Tales of Innocence R on a permanent basis until we complete it. And then I will pick another Tales game from the series, and we may put out a poll and a vote and all that good stuff. So keep an eye out for that. And I've decided also that since I have so damn many of these strategy games for the strategy RPG games, that Sunday is going to be SLRPG Sundays. Nice alliteration there. Good for marketing. So instead of simply branding everything Mac Paladin's Retro Gaming Emporium, I mean, I think that's pretty well implied at this point, since that's the name of the channel. But it isn't necessarily the name of the show, so to speak. So for each of those things, I'm going to go with separate branding, so that way people know exactly what they're in for on a weekly basis. All right, and of course, starting on the 20. Or strategy RPG. I'm workshopping it. We'll figure it out in a minute. All right, let me get Golix in here so that way we can actually talk about this in real time.
Oh.
Bunkus. I should have said, in the immortal words of Markiplier, Bunkus. All right. Yeah, SLRPG is the more arcane term for it. Strategy role-playing game.
What's the L from?
It was actually supposed to be like simulation RPG.
Ah.
Yeah. Although lation is not a word.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't know how to acronym, but that's just what they called it back in the day. It may have more significance in Japan, which is where the acronym, I believe, originated from. So all right, so as you can see, we got the Macross logo up. Utake is doing its due, and I will screen share with you so you can do your Google screen lens, whatever the fark this program is called.
I'm getting student loan repayment program group.
For the student loans you don't have?
No, for that acronym.
Oh, yeah. It was a classification used by a lot of the vendors that I was dealing with back in the 90s. Like I said, it's pretty obscure.
I guess.
But we'll go with something like strategy RPG Sundays or whatever. I'm sure people understand that. Long ago, I used to say, yeah, it's just like Nobunaga's Ambition.
Which is, like, true, except for we only ever got, like, 2 of those games, and one of them was friggin' Pokemon branded.
Yeah, well, the thing is, back in 1995, that reference carried weight because Nobunaga's Ambition was still reasonably fresh in society's collective memory. Whereas now it's just like, what?
I mean, it's a successful series. It's a successful series in Japan, and not particularly localized.
Yeah, we got like what, as you said, 2 games, and then the rest are like. Pfft.
I know we got at least one before Pokemon Conquest, which is literally Nobunaga's Ambition, but everybody has Pokemon.
In a way, it's like digital chess. And at some point, we are going to be playing the Langrisser series. Sadly, the best versions of that have never been localized.
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm debating. This is more for your personal preference. I'm debating whether or not we're going to play the PC Engine version of Langrisser 1, or if we're going to play Warsong to get everything started. Because there is a 100% complete English patch for the Sega Mega Drive Langrisser 2, and I'm not super keen on playing Der Langrisser because it would require us to play it effectively 3 times at a minimum to get the full effect. So I'm having like a personal struggle with that, and also I don't have Langrisser 1 and 2. What did they call it? Perfect Edition or whatever it was for the PS1.
I honestly don't know much about that series, but I'll look into it before we try and do it.
Yeah. So, but the PC Engine version of it is probably the superior version of Langrisser 1. In terms of, I mean, with the Red Book audio on CD and all that stuff, it's just there's no comparison. It has the Sega Genesis had 64 colors. It had a 64 color displayable palette, looked like ass. The TurboGrafx had, what was it, 512? It actually had twice the color palette of the Super NES.
You okay?
Yeah, I just love it when my shit breaks.
I do need to go get some food at some point, but I can wait until we have the game booted up.
The game's physically booted. Why don't you go ahead and do that, and we'll...
All right.
And I'll fix my table here. You'll watch me do rocket surgery, folks. How the hell did I miss this? So spectacularly. Get away. Constantly fixing the thing. Alrighty. Alright. Yeah, so I'm also trying to figure out when I want to play the game Tower of Fantasy, because that is a new MMORPG that I had various individuals on Twitch attempting to correct me and say it's, quote, not like Genshin Impact, which is a lie. In terms of interface, like if you look at the mobile overlay, for example, because it is designed ostensibly as a mobile RPG, you're collecting pretty waifus. You're picking up objects lying around a dynamically generated overworld, and you have events. The map, even the art style, is very similar, but it's more detailed, and you can actually play in real time with other people, and that is literally the only thing that really divides them. That, and it has this Fortnite-esque, slash Call of Duty. When people die, stuff pops out of them like a pinata, and there's some crafting and forging involved. I mean, but in essence, they are the same kind of game. Even if Genshin Impact is not the first game like that, it's just the most, like, culturally accessible thing to reference. And yeah, he went to grab some food real quick, so we'll be getting officially started in just a moment here. But I wanted to wait because I don't think we've revealed this scenario for Mission 4 yet. So I want to be able to get his insights and whatnot. For those of you interested in MMORPGs, speaking of, Shadows Mist and I will be playing City of Heroes, City of Villains, Red Side, tonight on Homecoming at 9. So, of course, that will be exclusively here on my channel. She will merely be playing along with me and commentating over Discord. So, just keep that in mind, that Red Side is still a me exclusive, and Blue Side is a Monday joint effort. Doodles, why are you always crowding me? Look at this. Look at this massive chunk. Whoa. Hi. Hi, Doodles. She was crunky. Yeah. She was glonky. She was not happy about that. And as Shadows Mist pointed out a couple of weeks ago, she's also a primordial croaker. So instead of having a regular cat meow, she's got like this ancient DNA strain where she's like instead of meow. So let the hilarity ensue. God. So much going on. All right, so to recap, we're going to be doing Tales Tuesday once Moonhawk Studios Presents comes back from hiatus on August 24th. We do have our first 4 guests lined up, like we did last season, and we're working on getting more. So be watching the channel for updates on that. I'll give you a quick rundown if the page will load. August 24th, Justin N.S. Gonzalez of Nerdslayer Studios, YouTube content creator behind the Death of a Game series, highlighting the collapse of MMO and live service games. At least as we previously knew them, I suppose, because, I mean, obviously we're still playing MMORPGs. I was just bringing everybody up to speed on what's happening on MSP starting August 24th.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I won't say anything about episode 2 because there's still some confirmation pending on that, I'm told.
Mm-hmm.
And Doodles is being a croaker.
What?
A croaker.
Oh, okay.
That's the noise she makes. Shadows Mist was talking to me about this, and she said, "Yeah, so cats developed their meows as a specific communication with humans, and Doodles must have some primordial strand of DNA because instead of meowing, she croaks. She makes this wah noise instead of a regular cat meow. So
it could just be socialization.
No, because I pick her up after 11 years. Come on." She was raised around other cats, but her mama cat was originally quasi-feral. Scarlet lived inside my ex's mother's house, so I honestly don't know.
Anyway, the reason I asked is because I heard Kroger, and I was like, why is your cat a grocery store that we don't have in Maine?
I'm sure you have one of their brands.
I believe Maine is one of the... no.
Like, do you have Food for Less, or...
Nope.
Fry's is a Southwest thing.
We also don't have either Hardee's or Carl's Jr., so...
And you don't have Jack in the Box either.
I don't think so, unless they added one recently.
Sorry, my foot is giving me difficulty today. So I'm massaging it. I promise we will get through a scenario of some sort today. These are actually not super long.
Well, also, we don't have anything to end for today, so... If you want to... I mean, I know you have stuff to do, but we don't do reviews when the show's off, so...
Well, that's helpful. Not that I'm trying to lollygag, but it just...
Mm-hmm.
You'll get your full show's worth of content today. Assuming I can stop itching long enough to actually play a game. This is the quality live content everybody tunes in for, am I right? All right, you entertain our fans for just a moment. I'm going to go see if some Bactine will make this help.
Yes, so we have no bananas. I don't know, Dragon Lord. I think that there are some things that we have here, that we don't have here, rather, that make it a better place rather than a worse place. I would add Chick-fil-A to that list, except for they added one recently and it annoys me. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything particularly wrong with. Hello, Shandragon 1. How are you today? Very well. We already have another dragon here, so that helps. We are, as you can see, sitting on the file screen while Mac makes some last minute preparations. And I am working on dinner because I'm hungry. Chick-fil-A chicken is supposed to be good, but they're also a company that donates profusely to anti-equality organizations, which is generally frowned upon by most of my social group. Oh, neat. They don't have sauce. They have friggin' butter with pickle juice in it. There might be a sauce. What I usually hear good is the is specifically the chicken. The quote unquote Southern style chicken sandwich does not have a whole lot on it. And I usually like my sandwiches with a little bit of vegetable on them anyway, so. Yeah, well, the reason I got on the fast food thing is because I live in Maine and we have neither Hardee's nor Carl's Jr., and we do have Burger King. Plenty of Burger Kings and McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. Pay no attention to the cat behind Mac's camera. In fact, you should be paying extra for that.
Okay.
We do also have Wendy's here.
I mean, you know, there is actually a valid reason why there is Wendy's in the Northeast, and that is because they had a partnership with Tim Hortons for a while.
That makes sense. We do actually also have Tim. We're Canada enough to have Tim Hortons.
There has been rumors for over like 2 decades now that Timmy Hose was coming to was trying to penetrate further south. I think they've gotten as far as Nebraska.
Yeah, they have some. I don't know exactly where, but it's not that shocking to see them out. And of course, they have not become the institution they are in Canada here, if only because this is New England. Dunkin' is the institution.
Yeah.
We do have Taco Bells, although not a ton of them, and a lot of them are combination KFC Taco Bells. Possibly all.
Isn't there a song about I want a Taco Bell, I want a Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I think it's just I know there's a combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut in that song.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having a know your meme moment here. I adjust my fan so it's actually pointing at me, so I'm not dying over here. Sorry for all the diddling around, folks. I work overnight, and this is the earliest show I have on my schedule throughout the week. So sometimes there's a lot
because
of
you live in Arizona, and because you both live in Arizona and are nocturnal.
Yeah. Well, I work at night, so. All right. Let me hit this shit here. Is it that key?
There's that one, and then there's the other one where you do the dancing song about the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the Pizza Hut.
Here we go. Okay.
Mission 04, Escape.
Aha.
Pursuing the Zentradi army, even the Meltrandi army joins the front line. The war situation becomes more and more chaotic. Then it starts to put the fucking text vertically because this thing does not like it. Meltrandi are females and otherwise the same species as Zentradi. Ritai decided to withdraw to Earth because of this. Otherwise, fighting is happening.
Nice.
That is what I got. I had it ready this time, and that's the best.
I'll take it.
Victory conditions. All enemies destroyed or evacuation of all joint forces ships. Defeat. Armed shot down. Destruction of all allied warships. No turn limit.
Nice.
It's armed, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
The Zentradi battle fleet is in front of us.
I gotta take a moment to say that this series of games always impressed me because it has completely new original music made by the composer of Macross 2. I mean, just listen to this shit. But not only that, but it was canon to that storyline. Like, at one point they thought highly enough of this game and its storyline to make it, like, a serious part of the Macross mythos. Mm-hmm. Even though it's a parallel timeline. And I wish they would expand the Macross 2 timeline, just to give us some variety.
I think Macross tries to keep stuff relatively one timeline compared to certain other mecha franchises.
Well, Macross ends up suffering from the same syndrome that Metal Gear does. Its original creator did not want to make a sequel, but was kind of dragged into, every time I try to get out, they pull me back, You know, that kind of thing. Although, how Al Pacino actually did that was, every time I try to get out, they pull me back. The loud shouting version is the jokey Godfather Part 4 from Saturday Night Live. Oh, man. The fucking music in this game is just absolutely killer.
Was Orgus? Oh yeah, is Orgus was originally intended to be a Macross spinoff, or
no? And that's part of the complicated legacy of the whole Super Dimension sort of anthology of series. Is that the one thing they had in common was character designer Hal Mikimoto,
which is a thing to base your
series. But they had no relationship whatsoever. The only thing that brought them together was Carl Macek. Yeah, Orgus was bad, and it had a lot of bad themes in it too. And apparently, we never got a full-on English translation of it until 2009, and then they released it as like a perfect collection on DVD and Blu-ray, and it was like a Target exclusive for like a hot minute. And I never saw it. I never saw past episode 7 of the what was it? U.S. Renditions, I think, was producing it. I have the tape somewhere. But there's a lot of problematic themes in that series. Not to mention the fact that it sucked. And it ends on a sour note. Apparently, and you know, I don't give a shit about spoilers from something that came out in 1983. You know, if you haven't seen it, shame on you. But yeah, it ends basically on the main character goes back to his own timeline, and he finds out that, you know, he can't have a life with Mimsy, and fuck you. You know, that's the story. And then they made an Orgus 2, or O2, or whatever. And apparently that was also...
So anyway,
yeah.
Meltran army in front of us. That's what Meltrandi fleet.
Yeah.
Scramble all Valkyries.
Well, you know, I didn't actually lay down a comment about O2. I think the most disturbing thing about the original Orgus was the way that they played. Is the fact that they had a love interest between a 24-year-old guy and a 16-year-old girl. I mean, yeah, I know, oh, Japan, you know, but by the way, that's going to be a thing going forward, playing Tales of Innocence, because apparently it has a lot of problematic elements in its story that I'm going to start a counter for called Oh, Japan. for which in the last episode alone we have 6 entries. Yeah, the way they justified it was really gross. I mean, it's a mildly entertaining story. I was engrossed for at least the first 4 episodes of it, but it's just after that it just goes off the rails so fast. Like, there was some really entertaining world building, but then when they basically go to the end and say, well, we send him back to his own time and everything resets, it's like, what the fuck did I just watch this whole series for? Right. And they don't resolve the central conflict. I'm sorry, did I miss your translation of this panel?
Scramble all Valkyrie units.
Oh, that's exciting.
Didn't even need the thing for that.
All right.
Which it looks as though they're all scrambled. So enemies are down at the bottom. Because this is Meltrandi, we have slightly better enemy here. Because the Meltrandi don't cram their guys into battle armors that are like...
I believe I have to deploy.
3 feet taller than them.
Second from the bottom was deployed?
I believe so. No, that's repair, sorry.
Shit. Well, we're fucked now, folks.
I mean, you can hit reset if you want.
I think I'm gonna do
But really, I don't think one turn will kill it.
Probably not. Let's just go ahead and proceed and see where the chips fall.
Sorry, I misremembered which one was which.
At least 10 real-life years. I mean, I think it came out in 1999 in Japan, so we're looking at like 16 years after the original. Most people don't remember how old this shit is. Oh good, I do still have the deploy option here.
He's deploying. Again, I could try to translate that, but it went kind of fast.
Sorry. I think it's the same thing they said last time.
This one is, if you don't want to die, get out of my way. Ah, so cool, says Leto.
Yeah, don't get too attached to that guy. Now, unfortunately, the computer AI is agonizingly slow.
As opposed to the biological AI, which is sitting at the controller.
I guess we're firing all the missiles.
I mean, it's probably better to fire the missiles before you close into combat. Seems how it's generally unadvised to shoot missiles at someone who's right next to you.
Yep. I gotta say that the ship sprites are actually fairly well detailed.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually by far...
It's easier to do that when they don't actually have much in the way of animation.
Yeah.
Because they don't need it.
I gotta say, this is by far one of my favorite tracks from this game. Oh, we actually took one down. Say goodnight.
Oh no, we defeated a level 1 Meltrandi.
Did you see that Call of Duty? What is the... I'm trying to remember the name of the actor. He was the big guy in 21 Jump Street. Super bad, you know, all that stuff. What the hell is that actor's name?
I have no idea.
It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it.
It listed a bunch of stuff I hadn't seen, so... Intercept them! Don't let them break through!
It looks like they're not moving. Oh, the front line is. Yeah, shit. Look, we're retreating already. Oh yeah, we're off to an excellent start here.
Well... Shit, they got me. I'm punching out. I don't know what else you were supposed to do, aside from maybe trying to stand on some of the asteroids, which I think you were, so...
Jonah Hill. Anyway, Jonah Hill did this, I guess it was supposed to be like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare ad. Mm-hmm. Or trailer or whatever. And they're pinned down in a bombed out office building. And he grabs an RPG and turns on the guy. And he goes, "Happy birthday, motherfucker!" And blows him away. Just blows up the entire floor of the building, right? Across from them.
Copy of Final Fantasy VII? I know what you mean.
Yeah, he... He blows up the entire floor, and his catchphrase is "Happy birthday, motherfucker." And the other guy goes, "What the hell were you thinking?" It was like, he's like, "I feel so refreshed right now, like I just stepped out of a sauna." And the other guy's like, "What the hell were you thinking?" It was like, "I was thinking it would look awesome when I smash it in his face with an RPG," and I was right.
I mean, fair.
So yeah, we're getting fuck sword here.
I don't even know what we would have done differently unless you wanted to move the ship forward and have that absorb some of the heat. And even then...
I need to be in Battleoid mode. And we have a fucking prayer.
Yeah, the anti-air missiles still have a significant minimum range. It's 3 to 8, I think.
I'm gonna put him on the Minmay attack platform.
That's what those are. I think we'd established that the Minmay attack doesn't work on these people, so...
No, but it does give me, I believe, a 30 or 40% terrain advantage.
Mm-hmm. The culture!
Bye-bye. Open fire! Bye. Wish I hadn't have done that. I don't think I have any control over these fuckers. Well, this is a heinous piece of crap.
Did you click off the window?
No, I just...
Oh.
I love it when we lose our main guy right off the bat.
Uh-huh. Like, even if there's no other downside to that, that's still, like, he's not getting experience. And
Right.
He's, like, the guy. Oh, well, Latrada, you're temporarily promoted to main character.
Yeah, right? Get in there and fire off the missiles! Sons of bitches. So, the lose condition is if we lose all of our allied battleships.
Yes, and it's only the ships that matter, I think.
Yeah, so the deal is we can actually sacrifice some of them, weakening the Malfendi.
Right. Like, anything they do to the NPCs and take some damage doing is stuff we don't have to worry about.
Like, this battle was unnecessarily stacked against us. Our 4 units were not going to do diddly shit.
Yeah. I believe we are not being graded on what happens to anyone else unless we fail, so...
Right. Bye. So anyway, if I say happy birthday, motherfucker, in the future, that's what that's all about. He's like, I'm pretty sure that guy's dead. And he's like, yeah, he's not coming back because like his asshole's over there and his nuts are over there. It's like the funniest damn thing I've seen. And there's no particular reason that it's funny. It's just the combination of elements that combine themselves into some kind of schadenfreude, I guess. It's like the perfect exemplification of what I've come to expect from Call of Duty. And I am an occasional Warzone player, so... I just haven't had a lot of time recently.
I don't think I've ever played a Call of Duty game in my life.
You know, I played... I have a I think somewhere in my collection I have a copy of Modern Warfare 2 for the PS3.
It's just first-person games do very little for me.
Okay, we're gonna find out. All right, now we're playing a game of fuck around and find out.
Uh-huh.
I'm not
better than the other.
Yeah. Better than our Imperious leader.
Well, no, I was gonna say better than the other way around, but I'm trying to figure out what finding around and fucking out would even be.
Sounds like the title of an adult film.
Potentially.
It's like, you know, it's point blank range, guys. You could shoot back if you wanted to. All this complicated military shit.
Uh-huh.
See, now that would have been the perfect range right there for them to use their main batteries to return fire.
Unfortunately, this game is pretty light on return fire, if not in direct base-to-base contact, as it were.
Which is a very Fire Emblem thing. What did she say?
The enemy's movements are strange, I believe.
Yeah, I think
the enemy's movements are strange.
And what does Lyle have to say?
It's like they're trying to lure us out. And Kiryu says nothing because he got blown up before he could fucking do anything.
What a lamer. I don't think I have any of these left, do I?
I think not, because it says the X00.
Yeah.
I think that's the ammunition marker.
Pray for me.
Yay! Actually, it's A, but whatever. Close. It's either I look like I did considerable damage, or it looks like I've taken considerable damage.
I think it's I look like I've taken considerable damage. Ah, shit.
So it's like the hint, maybe return to base.
Well, we're gonna have to move the base closer to him because he's in Battloid mode.
We can do that.
I have to be conservative with how close I move the base because I want to actually hit these fuckers. I love how our battleship just is like suppressing fire at rapid speed, and the other ones are kind of like just like leisurely drifting along and firing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what aren't they? Yeah.
Okay, he's returned to base. You know, one thing that I like about Langrisser is that when you've run out of actual physical player-controlled units, the AI automatically takes over. It says, "Oh, you're done." Blap. I've been playing a lot of Langrisser Mobile lately.
I'm pretty sure this game, this battle is over if you lose all of your player-controlled things, because our ship getting shot down is a lose condition.
Well, yeah.
Which is pretty common in mecha tactical games.
Well, here we go. Suppressing fire! See, and these destroyers are barely effective against these.
Well, they have shitty pilots.
Captain Generico. What is it? Braden, Graydon, Traden?
It rings a bell, yeah.
Blazaden.
Someone leveled up.
Yeah, that ship leveled up, even though, like I said, we're probably never going to see it again. This is... the problem is that these earlier levels, there's no way to grind on them.
I mean, a lot of this kind of game, there's literally no way to grind ever. I think in G Generation, you can grind by playing the other modes, for example.
Right.
But we were not doing that because we wanted to go through the story.
Yeah, like Langrisser Mobile has so many other modes, it's not even funny. But that's because getting level up potions and stuff for your primary characters is absurd. See, and this is the bad part. We need forces to soften up this enemy battleship. If we take out this enemy battleship, though, I think the scenario is over. Okay, that's one of the things. When they use that laser beam, the Battleoid mode is somewhat invincible. See, complete miss. And then there's a particular type of attack that they can do where, like, Gerwalk mode is the preferred way to go. Well, kiss that destroyer goodbye.
Oh, my luck only goes this far. Gah!
Sucks to be you, buddy. For some inexplicable reason, they decided to use their laser beams against the guy in Battleoid mode. Ocupado.
I know it's not, but this feels a little bit like this is like going from regular fighters to Leons. Not like going from Leons to Garleons. Anyway, my point is that unlike the Glaugs, the Quadland Rows don't suck.
Let's see if we can take her out. Oh, come on! Oh. Let's just take this bitch out. Once and for all. Is that so, Shen? I guess we're gonna have to move forward at some point.
A tribute character to Gohan, like Dragon Ball Z. What, you get doing like Great Saiyaman in City of Heroes?
Yep.
I guess that could work. Helmet version or do-rag and glasses version?
Aha.
Oh, okay.
I don't really want to level Lyle up, but...
Well, we have two guys, and he's one of them.
yeah, that's
Two
the
guys
problem.
that didn't get shot down, and he's one of them.
Meanwhile, our battleships, instead of attacking the other battleships, are deciding to go after targets they cannot hit. This is going to be agonizing. Attack the battleship! It's literally what you're built for. I have no control here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to put the controller down and sip on my coffee before I lose my shit. I mean, at least they're killing units.
Uh-huh.
They're getting ratioed 3-1, though.
Well, we'll just have to ratio back.
With what? It's not like I have a factory satellite to build units from.
Hard work and guts?
Yeah.
No, wait, this isn't Gunbuster.
Right. I was going to say there. Night coffee? This is morning for me, bro. See? Their battleship attacks us! Bye. A mother sheep.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep trading 12 hit points. Ah, shit.
What, did it actually go?
More
past
enemies.
us?
More enemies showed up.
Oh.
What's going on here?
Aim only for the enemy fleet. Don't let them return to their home planet. Naruhodo. I see. It was a diversionary operation?
Oh, were we supposed to move the ship to Earth?
There was something about escaping, but I don't know if it meant to Earth.
Time to go.
It might have, but if it did, it didn't say that. Or at least
I'm gonna
I
pound
didn't
this.
see it.
I'm gonna pound this battleship.
Hang on, one second. What is this saying? Target in range. Unlock the safety on fire the main gun. Which doesn't look any different than our usual thing.
Alright, we're gonna bust on through. Because I believe they gave us the clue we needed. We need to get to Earth.
Yeah.
And apparently these battleships are very weak to our armor series.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's going for it. Good luck, buddy. Soften him up a bit.
Did a couple of pips, which is respectable.
Yep, and he took that. That guy took that one out. Culture. See, I'm catching on. Oh, hey, look! They actually did something against a battleship.
Apparently these are picket ships.
Ah.
The Meltrandi ones. Either that or it's something in the Zentradi language that I don't fucking understand.
Well, this one's gone. You notice that that the AI is moving all of our ships.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, Dragon Lord, I'm completely I'm completely cheating and using Google Lens a lot. Because I am also particularly bad at kanji.
It seems to be everybody's struggle, including in Japan.
Well, it's harder. I mean, apparently when you're an adult, you're supposed to be fluent in it, but they don't expect you to be fluent in kanji until like 6th grade or whatever.
Right.
And by that point in high school, they had expected us to know how to do cursive for a while. Admittedly, there are not as many cursive letters as there are kanji, but...
I think he's going to move in for the kill on the battleship.
That is possible. Though I'm not sure if it'll actually kill it because it has 3 pips left, and the last time it did 1.
Aha! Yeah. Oh, we have allies.
Is everybody alright? Says, apparently, Kane. この天才パイロット、ケイン様が来たからにはもう大丈夫だ。Well, it's alright now because genius pilot Kane has arrived. 自分で天才とか言うのなんか
What?
Only a strange person calls themselves a genius.
Why is her dialogue coming from there? Didn't I put her inside the ship?
Quiet little girl, I came all the way to help you. What are you talking about? It's urusai ko. Yeah.
Yeah.
Urusai ko.
Oh, they're beaming me. Get away.
Luckily, the armed class has a lot of hit points.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them coming after me now.
I know.
And we don't shoot back in the same turn.
It really annoys me, actually, that they don't show hit points until you're below 100.
Well, they have an HP meter.
Right, okay, yeah, but the on the dots.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they have a they have a life bar, but...
Well... Alright. We've got to get to here or wipe out the entire Meltrandi force.
Mm-hmm.
We're not that far away from wiping out the entire Meltrandi force. I'm actually going to hit repair.
You feel free to do that. I forget if that lets you move or not.
It doesn't.
Okay.
But I am going to deploy my troops.
You might be able to take out 1 or 2 of the. These aren't even actually Quadlin Rows, are they? They're the upgraded one.
Yeah, these are the Quatlin Roses, and then these are the upgraded ones. Unfortunately, I cannot put them in Battleoid mode. Well, we're about to get some backup. Attack!
That is hopefully not terrible.
Alright, he did 20 points of damage there. Yeah, if you actually look at the text, though, they do have specific numbered energy meters.
Yeah, no, it's just that doesn't jump out to my eyes.
These guys are just fleeing. Oh! A parting shot! That's hilarious. One thing I'm liking about Langrisser Mobile, though, is that the experience is not based on how much pounding you do on any individual enemy units. Like, in other words, if you have one person who's extremely dominant, if you have one character who's extremely dominant, like, I got an SSR Elwyn, and he's decimating everything in his path. But the experience is distributed evenly at the end of the battle. It's not based on who did how much damage to what. Whereas I think scenarios like this, honestly, should take that into consideration. It's just artificially making the game needlessly hard.
Yeah, but this was back when that was still the thing to do.
Right.
Looks like it is called a Rogrun row.
Yeah, I'm glad I did that healing. Yeah, shit. We're in trouble here.
Stop beaming us.
Yeah, if the other ones get in range, we're fucked. Well, we just lost.
Probably, yeah.
That was bad luck.
Yeah. Evacuate everyone, help. Ah.
Well, we know what to do now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, next time advance faster. That way maybe we can get to the south part, where Earth is.
What the fuck? We're gonna skip that. See, you can advance it faster, but I thought that there was a way to roll it back.
Uh-huh. Unfortunately, we have not located this.
Well, there's not a lot of controls on the PC engine. Don't care what you have to say, because you've said it before.
Thing is, we don't want to aggro the ones on the sides. Let the allies soak those.
Right, we're just going to go straight up the middle. Now the question is anything in range of us? Yes. Open fire!
Other that, open water or lightning or something.
We're going to F their A right off the bat here. You're like, could you be more specific? And I'm going to deploy our troops behind on terrain. So that way I actually have a chance to not only deploy them, but change them to Battleoid mode. And yet,
they can't do that. They can't do that on deploy.
Nope. See?
I suppose it makes sense because these are basically flying aircraft carriers and they have catapults for fighters.
Which totally makes sense in space. They could literally just uncouple it and let it drift off into space and fire its retro boosters, but...
That's slower and takes more energy from the thing being... The reason they use catapults, especially in space, is
I don't see how literally doing that takes more energy.
Not from the ship, from the things being launched.
Again, there's no resistance against inertia in space. You just drift away.
Nope.
Unless you're in the direct presence of a gravity well.
There's no resistance to inertia, but there still is. The ship does still have mass and therefore requires energy expenditure and fuel to increase its velocity. The catapult is expending energy from the ship, which has much bigger fuel tanks than you can strap on the fighter.
I'm saying that if it's already in space, it doesn't need a whole hell of a lot of effort to get going.
It doesn't need a lot of effort to get going, but a helping hand goes a long way still.
You're still applying intra-atmospheric physics. It just doesn't have that resistance necessary to require that much power to maneuver. Now, if it was going faster than light, or attempting to approach the speed of light, that would be different.
Fuel is still a huge issue in space. I know they only need to apply it when they're accelerating or changing direction, which is a kind of acceleration.
Yeah. But I mean, if they just drop the ship in the orientation it needs to be, like they point it at the object and then just drop it in space and the ship moves on, then the fighter... Well, we could get into an entire argument about the efficacy of combat fighters in space, because honestly,
it's not very, yes.
Yeah, if you want more maneuverability, more power equals faster speed in space.
Yeah, the wings don't do anything in space.
So the bigger the battleship, the more maneuverable it is because it has a much bigger power source.
So the catapult actually... Actually, I guess if you catapult too hard, it could make getting back to the ship hard. Because you'd have to decelerate and then reaccelerate.
Right.
But...
You'd have to apply all of your power to deceleration in order to stop moving. See, this is why space combat is hilarious in most popular fiction, because it's not based on any real-world physics.
Yeah, it's treated as if it was air or occasionally ocean.
Yeah, and that's why the so-called fighter craft in Starship Moonhawk are actually bigger than the Ganymede-class shuttles, is because if you're going to deploy fighters to take out capital ships, they're going to need to be as big as these fucking destroyers. And the only reason that you would want smaller is if you're trying to enable some form of stealth.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of my artistic designers was stunned, absolutely stunned, that I made the Spectres, the primary fighter series in Starship Moonhawk. What did I say it was? I'm trying to remember if I said it was 30 meters or 90. I think it was 90. It's big enough to carry cargo around. And like
30 meters is already pretty big.
Yeah.
But 90 probably is... Well, I mean, even in fiction, like, you know how the Valkyrie's supposed to kind of look like an F-14, right?
Right.
You know how the Valkyrie's like 2/3 the length of an F-14, right? At best.
Yeah.
They're tiny. An actual F-14 is closer in size if you stuck it on its ass pointing upward to the height of a Gundam.
Right. How come we're wiping the floor with them this time?
I don't know.
I've noticed something weird about this game, that if you lose the scenario and then restart it, it starts giving you like pity RNG the next time around.
That is definitely possible.
Like all of a sudden the missiles are destroying everything.
Permitted term, sucking on its ass.
You gotta use dollar signs there, potato snap.
But yeah, a lot of... fucking, I'll just look it up.
Yeah, space combat is ridiculous in most popular fiction.
At some points, you have to just accept it.
I know. God damn it. Stop harassing my vessel.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is that a catapult is arguably even more effective in space because there's no drag. So the velocity imparted by the catapult stays with it until it needs to, like, literally turn around. Why does this have so many specs but does not have fucking length?
Right? Yeah, so what happened in the last attempt at this round is that we waited too long and enemy reinforcements showed up and there was no way to evade damage.
Okay, the FA-18 is, or the new one, is 18 meters, which is the same size as the Gundam.
Yeah, but the point is I made the fighters an absurd size because... Because
they need to be in space. They need to have fuel to make all of their maneuvers, and ammunition, and life support, and stuff.
and they're more like a B-52 than an actual, high-speed combat fighter. Small and nimble in an aerodynamic environment does not translate to space. If you put an F-35 in space, it would be dead in the water.
Well,
and not just because it's an airplane that requires air to function, but if they did something to like seal the engines and have a self-contained combustible.
They do have thrust vectoring, which is something that would let them turn. But yeah, obviously the control surfaces are doing nothing because there's no air there.
Right, but say they had space retro thrusters, that allowed them to turn at speed in space, instead of doing what Wing Commander used to quaintly refer to as auto slide. Which was that you could actually set the ship on a course, turn on the auto slide, and fire in a full 720 arc. Like, you could literally be traveling in one direction and then continuously turn the ship towards your enemy without changing direction, without physically changing the direction of the vessel.
Right.
Which I thought was probably the most uniquely space combat thing ever put into popular fiction. But yeah, you put the F-35 in space, even if you sealed the engines so that they could, combust their fuel.
Replace them with thermonuclear turbojets.
That could also, like the GAW, for example. The GAW would actually be a better space combat fighter than an F-35, even modified for space, because of its size and its power plant.
I mean, at some point, I guess if you get manufacturing facilities to work in space, you can start building big things in space. Until then, it's really fucking hard. Right now, the hardest part about stuff in space is getting shit up there.
Right. Well, that, and we haven't dug deep enough into the Earth's crust to find dysonium. There's your daily Orville reference. So instead of dilithium, the material that powers... I think people need to recognize something very important here, that in Season 3 of the Orville, they actually opened up the engine chamber and revealed the dysonium core. And it looks like the fucking beryllium sphere from Galaxy Quest.
Well, you know what they say.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery?
That, but also, intelligence is knowing that Galaxy Quest is not a Star Trek movie. Wisdom is knowing that Galaxy Quest is arguably the best Star Trek movie.
Right. And that the Orville is clearly the best Star Trek series. Alright, let's transform these bastards so that way we can actually fight here.
I guess the F-35 is fairly small, and the F-16 is around the same size. But the 15 and the 22 are closer to 20 meters than 15. By which I mean they're around 19. But those seem to be about the two scales that our current fighters are being done at, is 15 meters and 20 meters, give or take.
Alright, like I said, I gotta transform. Whenever you're fighting Meltrandi, you have to transform to Battloid mode. And it's like the Zentradi, you can, depending on whether you're firing missiles or doing whatever, it depends on if you're fighting battle pods or if you're fighting those command pods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find the sweet spot here. take this B out right here. Alright. Got him! Yeah, so arguably the Excelsior would, because of its larger size, would actually, and its bigger power plant, would be faster and more maneuverable than the Enterprise, even without transwarp drive.
Arguably, yeah. I mean, mass does still matter.
True, but again, because it has a much larger power plant.
Uh-huh.
And a much bigger warp field because of that. It can actually slip through subspace a lot faster than the Enterprise. And when we're talking about the difference between Warp 9 and 9.1 and 9.9 and 9.95 and
yes,
9.9...
I know, the warp scale is either exponential or logarithmic, one of those things.
Yeah.
Alternately, it could just be that in the original series, the warp factor was set to whatever number we need to be appropriately big.
To make it seem impressive, yeah.
Right. With, I think, still around 5 as the standard.
Lizard speed. Oh my god, there's your threshold reference for the day. Goddamn Voyager!
And then I don't know if it's stuck, but there was something about how in Next Generation they recalibrated the warp speed so that, okay, now warp 10 is infinite speed. You cannot hit it.
Yeah, but that's what I was talking...
If you hit it, you are constantly occupying every space in the universe at once.
Well, that's why these seemingly incremental difference... That's what I was saying. They made more sense out of it. It's like, once you get to Warp 9, all of these decimal points after it become significant multipliers.
Yeah, the difference between Warp 9 and Warp 9.1 is bigger than the difference between Warp 1 and Warp 9.
Which... to the layperson doesn't sound logical, but to the science people, they were getting all giddy about it.
Right, it's doing it as a logarithmic scale because you're approaching infinity. That's how it works. Sort of.
Yep. Yeah, like it was a big deal that when they redesigned the Sovereign class because of its larger warp core, the fact that it could do that, the Enterprise E could actually sustain warp 9.95 for 12 hours means that it was literally the fastest ship in the fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you needed to get a lot of firepower somewhere really fast, you sent the Sovereign. And that's why it was also such a big deal that the only ship that could catch up to the Enterprise E when it fled from Romulus and Nemesis, again, this is not really emphasized in any meaningful way in the movie, but the reason that they were able to get so far ahead and that the only ship that could catch up to them was the Scimitar was because of how over-engineered the Sovereign class is, because that's how the Federation do.
Mm-hmm.
They not only make it their most powerful ship, but they make it their fastest ship as well. You know, because it's got places to be. Like, apparently, even Dominion battleships were kind of sloth-like by comparison. That they couldn't overtake, like, even the slug-like Defiant at warp 9.5. Or 9.2 or whatever it's. I think O'Brien overcame that defect in season 6 or something like that. Because over in warp 9.2 the ship would shake itself apart. Mm-hmm. And he figured out some way to make it go 9.5 or 9.7 without blowing up the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually makes Senior Chief Miles O'Brien the most important person in the history of Star Trek. Because he figures shit out that no one else can. Which effectively makes him better than Wesley Crusher.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's a high standard or not.
Leave my guy alone. What's the point of all this anti-aircraft fire if there's not going to be any, you know, useful effect?
I don't know.
They show all this space flak, and that's what I'm going to start calling it from now on, is space flak.
You mean all the little explosions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, come on! We should have taken this one out. She's only got 16 hit points. These two should not have survived to be continuously menacing two battleships.
Mm-hmm. The enemy's movements are strange.
Ah, we're doing this again. Oh, slightly different dialogue this time.
Yeah, because he's not fucking dead. That's why he didn't say anything last time. It's because he died on the first goddamn turn.
Well, technically he was in sickbay. Being treated
okay,
for radiation burns.
His fighter died. Ah, yeah, I noticed that too. And it's like they're trying to lure us out.
Alright, let's have Lyle move in. See if we can take one of these bitches out. There's a very high probability that I will only do enough damage to get her down to 0. Ugh. Back inside, fool. Adioski. Oh, come on! Seriously? Alright. Which one was deploy again?
Gets the last one.
Alright, well, we're still doing repair. We're getting back in this fight. But I am going to need
the options were in order: move, standby, repair, and launch.
Alright, this is going to get ugly in about a minute here. Oh, by the way, apparently Twitch has made another change and I can now add my own tags.
Neat.
That whole not having any control over my tags made absolutely no sense.
Yes.
Like, you would put in the game and then it would automatically put in the tags, and then you had no way to know what tags they had available. And it's like, if people are searching for stuff, it's like, put stuff relevant to the game in there. It's not complicated. Oh, really? You're gonna kill steal me? Son of a bitch. Well, at least they're softening them up.
So, Mac, is Macross 0 canon to this timeline?
This timeline? No, it's canon to the original.
Also, if it's a prequel, does it matter?
Well, it does in the sense that every Macross series that has come out since Macross 2 is set in the original timeline.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense because both the character designs and the story threads line up with what was done in the movie Macross Love Do You Remember and Macross 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand their justification for this. It doesn't make sense.
I believe the justification is this way we don't have to pay extra for the rights to the original character designs.
I think the justification is because fuck you, that's why. I was making a point earlier about Metal Gear, and that was that, Macross 2 was made without the original creator.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like that, so he went and made a whole bunch more Macross series.
Yeah.
Basically retconning that.
Mm-hmm.
While simultaneously paying homage to it. But even though he says that, technically, Macross Love Do You Remember is not so much a retcon of the original series as it is a war movie reinterpretation of the events.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense because, once again, the events in the actual shows follow that plot thread. Because if you go by the original show, the SDF-1 was so spectacularly destroyed, there's no way they could have rebuilt it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the movie, I don't care.
I mean, I think in both versions, it just kind of becomes a city.
In the movie, they blow off the spires of the main gun, but the rest of the ship is completely intact. In the series, Chiron, or whatever his name is in Japanese,
Kamjin, I think.
Kamjin and his Beltrandi partner in crime are holding hands as they ram their battleship into the heart of the SDF-1. Killing everybody on board and effectively destroying the ship, its weapons, its engines, the whole works. And then the next time you see it, you've got Hikaru and Misa on the ground by its legs.
Mm-hmm.
And you never see it again. But it's destroyed beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's two important factors to remember here. Humanity barely reverse engineered it in time to launch it and fight this war. And the second thing to keep in mind is that the Zentradi and the Maltrandi did not even know how to repair their own stuff, let alone build new ones.
Which raises some questions, but we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Soldiers are traditionally trained in the maintenance of their own equipment if the people who are training them are not complete boneheads.
Well, they were deliberately taught not to repair it because it was like every mission is a suicide mission if your ship gets badly damaged enough.
Uh-huh.
And they would barely take over. They didn't understand the technology that they were using. They just used it. They were taught how to work it, but not how to fix it or how to build it. And the factory satellite did everything pretty much on its own.
Okay, all I'm saying is that's one shade more wasteful than fucking TIE fighters.
True, but I'm just saying that's how they did it, because whether you subscribe to the idea of the Marduk or whatever other progenitor race that created the Zentradi and the Meltrandi,
yeah, I'm not arguing that that's not the case. I'm arguing that that's stupid and the precursor race deserves to have been mostly destroyed.
Well, and I mean that's basically what each successive Macross series has been kind of emphasizing. Is that, it was basically a control mechanism. They didn't want the Zentradi and the Meltrandi thinking for themselves. That's why they eliminated everything except from their entire concept of culture, except for soldiering. Like, literally everything. From their function to their leisure time is built around soldiering. And being soldiers. There's nothing else in their lives. So when they're exposed to culture like, you know, eating ice cream or watching a movie or holding hands, it's like,
yeah, it's literally mind blown.
Yeah. You know, and people have a lot of trouble wrapping their brain around this.
That's why stinging at an enemy fleet literally makes them mentally not be able to comprehend it.
Right.
And therefore, yeah.
This is important. It's very, very plot important.
Which I guess is maybe not entirely worse than the time when they apparently just said, what if we built a race of extremely powerful kind of psychic things that can possess other things and have gigantic monster bodies, and they can fly through space, and they need to drain the life force of other things. Would that be fucked up or what? And then did that.
You know, I haven't consumed every piece of Macross media that there ever was, but even I understand. Even I understand this. You know?
That's the Proto-Devil from 7. That's basically what their deal is.
Yeah. We trained him wrong as a joke. So true. It would be nice if going back aboard the ship actually reloaded your weapons loadout.
Doesn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh, it might be because these are the fucking extra missile packs that, like, you literally jettison the thing afterwards.
Right, but once again, going back aboard the ship, don't they have more?
Maybe not, question mark? They should, but I don't know if they do.
Alright, so let's get a move on here because I think we're running out of turns before we're going to get assaulted here. Alright, god damn it, attack the battleship! Why is this so difficult?
My guess would be some prioritization of shooting the thing that they can... Of course they missed, but...
They didn't miss, they just didn't do enough damage. Oh, wow. The bullets actually penetrated this time. There is a kind of cool... There is one cool mechanic here, and that is that you get a free move if you do get a kill.
Uh-huh. Which we would be seeing more if the NPCs didn't keep fucking stealing all of our kills. Because that's been happening a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a significant chance that the AI prioritizes targets that if it hits them, it can kill them.
See, the thing is, it's not that it's okay. Good job, you weakened her. But here's the problem: leaving her with 2 hit points gives her an opportunity to shoot at our battleship.
Right.
And she does the same damage whether she has 2 hit points or 200 hit points.
That is an unfortunate relic of the way that video games tend to track health, because losing more systems suck, generally.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, in most modern strategy RPGs, if you manage to get your shot off first, your damage is prioritized. It is entirely, like, for example, in Warsong, aka Langrisser 1, both of your guys did their whole thing where they did their sword swoosh and sent a beam of death towards the enemy at the same time. So whatever damage was done was done. In the modern versions, if you go on the offensive, your attack is prioritized. And if it hits them before they get their special off, like if it kills them before they get their special off, they're dead and the special doesn't go off.
Right.
which is a substantial quality of life improvement. I'm getting messages here. Oof. There's bile in that burp. Blech. Oh, shit, here we go. It's go time, kids. Prevent them from escaping. I know what's happening already. Oh, what did he say?
Oh, this is the. Oh, was their whole thing a diversion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got a new line of dialogue here.
All units. Come on, you fucking machine. All units, come to the aid of the fleet. Or go support the fleet, I guess. Meaning the ships.
Yeah. Alright, switch to Battleoid mode. And yes, I will continuously interchange Battleoid and Battleroid. Because it's a quirk of language. Both are technically correct. And you know,
Either is correct, yes.
And you know my philosophy, Galax. My philosophy is that being technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Roid makes more sense if you're intending to parse it as Android, which they only use it for Batroid, which would make sense.
Well, also the letter L technically doesn't exist in the Japanese language. It is
neither one. Yeah, it's somewhere in between. Traditionally in English, it's usually traditionally from Japanese, it's translated with an R, and from Chinese, it's translated with an L, even though they're both extremely ambiguous sounds.
Oh, we did get a missile replacement.
Yeah, apparently.
Question is, can I hit anything from... Oh, I can hit the battleship from here. We're gonna get big experience now, baby. Bye-bye, Green Lady. Oh, yeah. When a fighter kills a battleship, you get big XP.
Mm-hmm. Yakdekulcha!
Yep, she leveled up. That was pretty much automatic right there. Alright, we'll let Lyle level up. I need to get rid of this swarm of enemy fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So, in our way, we have one enemy fighter and one enemy ship.
Honestly, that's not bad.
Yeah, much better than last time, and we only lost 2 destroyers. Or no, 1 destroyer. Because there was 2 on either side.
We'll see how aggressive those followers are.
Yep. Well, this guy's gone. Adios. Adios, purple lady.
Unless it just fucking misses or something.
Well, you know, that's pretty standard. That's okay. We got 5 more shots to embarrass ourselves. A whole 8 points of damage that time. You can actually get kind of a clue as to which way you should go with the battle based on the deployment of the NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look carefully and say to yourselves, okay, they're all in Battleoid mode, then that's pretty much the mode you should operate in for the entire round, for the entire episode.
Of course, we'll see once we start seeing weirder enemies, which I'm sure will happen.
I hate to say it, but the enemies get bigger. That's about it. And we know what this guy says.
Yes. Is everyone all right? Genius Pilot Kane is here to save your butts. What kind of weirdo calls themselves a genius? Shut up. I'm here to help you.
Yeah. Shut your mouth, girly. That's kind of what it basically amounts to.
Rusai consume.
Oh. Alright. So we're going to soften this thing up with the arm. And then... oh, it's trying to move to intercept us. You see that?
Uh-huh.
Alright.
Oh, I read a funny thing.
Alright, so we're going to soften it up, and then we're going to send all of our player troopers against it to try to take it out and get some experience. He had a good opportunity to make a Ligma joke.
Yeah, but I try to not do those.
Is that... Is Tater being inappropriate?
No. Have you not heard the Ligma joke?
I feel like I have, and I don't remember what it was. Ah, I can't get in range. Oh, yeah, apparently Ligma is now banned again? You want to go ahead and allow that?
Question apparently. Even though that's not that aggressive, really?
Well, it's funny because he says it the
anyway,
first time.
That's the punchline, is Ligma balls.
Well, but what gets me is that it censored him. It didn't censor him the first time, but it did the second time.
Yeah, it's probably something to do about that one sounds like a, and is actually grammatically a imperative, and the other one was just descriptive.
But it only highlighted that one word.
I know.
God damn it.
It would, well, it like, in context, it would be like the difference between I don't give a damn and damn you.
I mean, I guess we can pretend that Nightbot is that smart.
I mean, it might have basic grammar some things.
Yeah, you've triggered it on virtually every opportunity. Let's see if this guy kill steals. Or at least attempts to. Alright. Well, at least he's got up. He's gonna kill steal me.
Of course he is. He's a genius. Isn't kill stealing a galaxy brain move?
Yep. That's some big brain stuff right there. Now we pretty much just have to escape to Earth. I mean, I suppose we could turn an attack on these last three Meltrandi.
Uh-huh.
since there's no turn limit. Let's see how close they get to us. I told you, Mr. Spock, I'm in command here, and we're going to turn and attack. What did she say?
The same thing as before. Safety lock removed. Fire the main cannons.
I don't know, these enemy commanders are starting to look kind of raggedy. See, we'll use Lyle to soften them up a bit. And then we'll have our less powerful characters try to take them out. See if we can get some level ups here. He's really thinking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these ones are coming back to assist.
Mm-hmm.
Kill Stealer. Well, I guess that's it. Dialogue!
作戦完了。このまま待機。Mission success is what you're saying. We can, like this, we can get into the atmosphere. Please return to ship as soon as possible.
Spectacular.
あの程度の敵にデカルチャー
That kind of enemy. The culture. I will crush them. Enemy detected, all units scramble. Be careful out there.
All right.
Mission 5. Yeah.
Don't.
The mission is time limit.
15 turns, but we're not going to do it tonight because I need to rest a little bit before my next stream. So, this is, I believe, our main Mel Trendy girl for this storyline.
Her name appears to be Misty.
Yep. All right. So, that concludes part 3. Like I said, they promised they'd get us through a scenario. I'm not going to spend another hour trying to get us through a second scenario.
Mm-hmm.
They do get a little more complex, and by complex, I mean they throw a lot more units at us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the first time I played this game, I became very heavily reliant on our armor series carrier.
Mm-hmm.
I kept getting my unit
Hey, sometimes balancing the ships in these games is very challenging, and they often in strategy RPGs of this genre, a lot of the time the ships either end up sucking or being overpowered.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though. And I'm just going to jokingly call it the SDF2. You get a vastly superior vessel when Britai joins the battle again. That replaces this ship. So it has a finite evolution.
By replaces this ship, do you mean literally replaces, or do you mean this ship becomes one of its arms?
No, it literally replaces it. This doesn't have this ship doesn't transform. It's just a heavy battleship.
I was just wondering because the entire point of the armed class carriers was to be bolted onto the SDF-1 as arms.
Yeah, well, the SDF-1
and not suck otherwise.
The SDF-1 does not make an appearance in this game except in a cutscene.
Yeah, but I didn't know if they built another thing of similar class.
I would have thought it would have been cool if they'd have actually launched the SDF-1 and used the arms, but
unfortunately, that would probably destroy the city again.
Yeah, I mean, it is sitting in the central lake. Yeah, you know. All right. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's Macross Eternal Lovesong. Scenario 4. I think there's like 20 scenarios or 21 scenarios in this game. So this will, if we keep beating at least one every week, we'll get done with this in good order. And in some scenarios, if we don't have this problem where I make a tactical error, a significant tactical error right off the bat, then we will probably avoid some of the pitfalls and actually be able to complete as many as 2 scenarios per week. So, you know, they're not extremely difficult. This is not a Gundam or a Super Robot Wars game.
Again, difficulty varies based on game. It just happens that most of the ones you have seem to be hard.
Yeah. This one's actually very beatable. Like I said, I beat it having no guide whatsoever, except for a loose translation of the instruction manual, which I seem to have lost the paper that my friend wrote down that had all the information on it, on like the names of the characters and stuff like that. But aside that, like I said, I figured something out. I figured something out at some point, and we're going to discover it again. Like I said, against certain types of enemies, a certain mode of the fighter is virtually invincible after a certain point. Like, at some point, they'll just keep infinitely throwing battle pods at you, which will just be limitless experience fodder. It's basically how it's going to go. So,
does it continue being just like we have like 3 or 4 guys and then there are a bunch of NPCs?
Oh, no. They add a lot more playable characters.
Okay.
It becomes like Langrisser, where you start acquiring quite the fleet of actual playable, controllable characters. I think this guy that just showed up is one of them. And then, of course, you get Misty. After a certain point, our main guy... duels with her enough that she decides that she's in love with him.
Because sure, it worked for Max and Milia.
Sure. Exactly. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because this is literally how every Macross story goes. The enemy becomes my friend, you know, that kind of thing. The whole we fix everything with culture and song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so yeah, we get a lot more people, and then we get a lot more variety. We get an upgraded battleship. I don't believe anybody evolves into a destroyer type ship or anything like that. I don't think we get any controllable battleships besides our main one. But that's okay. The game's not completely stingy on leveling up our NPCs either. So it's just after a certain point, it gets a little ridiculous. But there are some class evolutions for the various ships. We will get the disposable missile launcher, which also increases our range. So on and so forth. There are a number of class upgrades that are significant. And I don't remember if they're branching like Langrisser, or if it's just a straight evolution as you level up. Because some stuff later on, you're just not going to be able to fight them with a standard Veritech fighter. All right, so as I said before, 9 o'clock we're going to be doing City of Heroes Red Side. So please feel free to join us if that is your interest. And of course, tomorrow we'll be doing more Paladins at 6 and City of Heroes Blue Side at 9. Shadows Mist and I had our fun with Thunder Spy, and we may play it privately, but I don't know if it's going to be a stream thing because the community is just not big enough on Thunder Spy for us to actually get anywhere with it. But it was a cool little detour, and she got to see her werewolf character at long last. Alright, so that's it for this week's installment of Macross Eternal Lovesong. Feel free to join us again next time, and as always, I'm Mac Paladin. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, kids.